Hello everyone, welcome to my civil engineering YouTube channel. Please subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon to get notified when I post my new videos. Today I'll be discussing how to determine the centroid for the plane section. So here we have given a T-shaped structure wherein its the overall dimension are 100 into 10 as in case of flange, and as in case of web it is 8 into 100 mm. So here we have been given how to we have been asked to find out the centroid for the overall T section. So here this is the typical representation. So before determining the centroid, we are supposed to divide the overall T section into two rectangles, that is rectangle 1 and 2. So here, and also for the determination of the centroidal distance in the horizontal and vertical direction, so we are supposed to assume some reference axis. So I just call that reference axis as AA in the horizontal direction and BB in the vertical direction. So wherein the horizontal axis AA represents the axis of reference in order to determine the vertical distance of the centroid of the individual rectangles. So I just repeated, AA represents the horizontal axis of reference in order to determine the vertical distance of the centroid of the individual rectangular sections. So again, BB represents the vertical axis of reference in order to determine the horizontal dimension of the centroid with reference of the centroid of the individual rectangular sections. So here, in order for the easy determination of the centroid for the overall section, we have made a tabular column here stating first we are supposed to find out for the individual rectangular axis, and after that finally we can determine for the overall T section. So for that I have given a table here. So A represents the area of the individual rectangular sections. X represents the horizontal distance of the individual or the respective centroidal axis, and Y represents the individual vertical distance with reference to the reference axis from the respective centroidal axis, and then AX represents the product of area and the horizontal distance of the individual centroidal axis, and AY represents the product of area and the vertical distance of the individual centroidal axis. Now coming on to the first rectangle, that is rectangle 1. So here for the area calculation of the rectangle 1, so we know that B, the width of the first rectangle is 100, and D is the depth of the first rectangle, that is 10. So it is 100 into 10, that is B into D, represents the overall area as overall area will be represented as 100 into 10, that is equal to 1000. Similarly, for this rectangle 2, the width is equal to 8 mm, which is the horizontal distance, and vertical height will be equal to 100 mm. So it is 8 into 10, that is 800 mm square. So this is the area determination for the both rectangular section. So after that I need to add both the rectangular section areas in order to get the overall area of the T-shaped structure. So if I add that, I'll get the area as 1800 mm square. So after determining this, I need to find out what is the x for the individual axis or individual rectangle. So if I just mention the axis here, individual rectangular axis, I just call the rectangle here, one sec, I just mention here as the first centroid as G1, and then with reference to the second rectangle individual section as small g2. This is the individual, I just represent it as individual centroid of the rectangular section 2, and this blue dot in the first rectangle represents the individual centroid of the rectangular section 1. So with reference to that, if I just draw the axis with reference to the respective centroids, I just get the calculation of x and y. So this is the reference axis. BB is a reference axis for the calculation of x here. So therefore, from BB to that of G, small g1, what is the distance? That is nothing but it is equal to b by 2, or width by 2. So overall width is 100, so width by 2 is 50, so overall distance here is equal to 50 mm. So similarly, since it is symmetric about the same axis, the second x value for the second rectangle will be equal to 50 itself. Similarly, for the calculation of y, this is a centroidal axis. So as this is a centroidal axis of the individual rectangle 1, so the distance between this reference axis to that of the individual centroidal axis is taken as 100 from second rectangle to that of the reference axis. From there, it is equal to half the depth of the first rectangle axis. So it is equal to 10 by 2 plus 100. So it is equal to 105 mm. Similarly, for the second rectangle, it is equal to exactly half the distance of the individual rectangle 2. So it is equal to depth by 2, so it is 100 by 2. So after determining y and x, I just get the product of ax and ay as by multiplying each. So after getting the value of ax and ay, I need to get the overall summation of ax and ay for the individual rectangular axis, so that I can get the overall ax value for the T section. So I have got here as 90,000 and this as 1,45,000. So this is what the calculation of ax and ay for the individual rectangular section. So after determining the ax and ay value and also sigma a value, so we can find out what is the value of x bar and y bar. Here x bar represents the centroidal distance in the horizontal direction for the overall T section, and y bar represents the vertical distance of the vertical direction of the distance of the centroid with of the overall T section. So as we know that sigma ax by sigma a is the by this formula we can determine what is the horizontal direction. Sigma ax we know in the previous slide we have calculated. So sigma a also we have determined, so that value will be equal to 50 mm. So similarly y bar is equal to sigma ay by sigma a, that is equal to 80.55 mm. So if I just project that from the reference axis, so this is somewhere here as y bar, and this is equal to x bar. This is equal to x bar. So this is equal to x bar from here. So this is all about the calculation of x bar, y bar and determination of the centroid for the overall axis, overall structure. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe the video. Thank you.